This was a fun one using AppScript to help a user auto-check specific checkboxes when another one is checked. Let's take a look. So here's the table the user provided. Names in column A, and then checkboxes noting if that player played, won, and got first. The setup they want is to be able to check all of these checkboxes independently, but especially they want it so that if they check win, that play will automatically be checked. And if they check first, that win and play would automatically be checked. Now, technically, if all they wanted was 2 columns with played or won, there are ways you might be able to configure this with formulas, but the challenge is you cannot have a cell that is the output of a formula and is also you can interact with manually, right? So I cannot have a checkbox that I can check and that I can put a formula in that cell. You cannot have both. So we're going to be using a script. We have to, and there's some cool stuff we can do there. So let's go ahead and go to extensions, app script, takes me here. Since we want something to happen after we perform a action, we're going to use onEdit. First thing I'm going to do is get the range, and that's going to tell me what cell or cells were edited. Okay. The nice thing about onEdit, naming a function onEdit, is that it will run automatically whenever an edit is made. And then this E will give information about that edit into the script. So it'll give us the range, the value, what the value was, all sorts of stuff we can get about the edit that just was made. Okay. So I've got the range, and that'll tell me if it was cell A1, if it was cell E25, whatever it is. And I want to see that it was a checkbox that was checked. There's actually a single function that can get us this. That's the r.isChecked. And then I want to check to make sure that it is checked, that the range is checked. So if r.isChecked, then we're going to do the rest of the stuff. Okay. So the first thing I want to do, let's just make this work for column D, checking win, auto checking play. So now let's say if r.columnStart is 4, right? Because column D is the 4th column. Then what we want to do is move 1 cell to the left and check the box 1 cell to the left. So that's going to be r.offset, and it returns a new range. Here it is, returns a new range that is offset from this range by the given number of rows and columns. And those can be negative, so we can move left and up and down and right. It works great. So r.offset, the row, we want to be on the same row. Column, we want to move 1 cell to the left, so that's going to be -1. And then we're just going to say check. So if we edit column 4 and check that box, then go 1 cell to the left, C of the same column, of the same row, and check that box. Let's try it. So if I check here D5, then you saw it automatically checked C5. D8, D10. Great, so that's working. Now I want to put in a second, else if r.columnStart equals 5, so that would be column E. Now I want to do similar to this, but instead of just moving 1 column to the left, I want to move 2 columns to the left. And it also allows us to put in how many rows and how many columns we want to return. I only want 1 row, but I'm going to want 2 columns. I want column C and D if we edited column E. So, and still just .check. Save this. And now let's try here, checking E6, checks D6 and C6. It still works to just check D, and I can still manually operate on column C as well. So this is exactly what the user wanted. We're going to get the range. We're going to check if the range is checked. And since we know what the structure of this table is, If it was column 4 or D, go check column C. If it was column 5 or E, then go check both columns C and D. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped.